What's up, everybody, and welcome into Airbnb Day Heffrey. We're here watching the NFL Combine, NFL Scouting Combine. Parker said, random live? Bet. It's not a random live, but I guess I didn't promote it a ton. I'm going to do it every night while we're out here at the Combine. I guess I'll have to do one tomorrow night, too, because we'll still be here. We're not leaving until Sunday. Did Downs run? Solid Duck wants to know. Caleb Downs did not run. He ain't doing nothing out here. He is doing that thing where somebody knows you're going to be drafted real high, and they say, let me not mess with that, because then all you guys are going to talk about how that guy ran faster than me, and that guy ran faster, and that guy jumped higher than me, and he's just going to tell you to watch his tape and not worry about it. So, no, Caleb Downs is not working out. Although Dillon Thieneman is about to run the gauntlet right this second, the Oregon safety, who I do believe is in play at 20 for the Dallas Cowboys. I just wonder which spot he would play for Dallas, because I think he could go either way. He could be a deep safety or he could be the nickel. So anyway, yeah, we can just talk about anything that you guys want, but I'll probably work my way through some defensive back stuff, since that's what's been happening today with them running and doing all of the things. Dillon Thieneman had himself quite a day, and so did a few other people, including one that I just finally watched today. Let me find his name real quick. I got a new guy I like. Traden Stukes at Arizona that played the nickel for them. Although he has played safety for them, he has played outside corner for them, and then this year he played the nickel for them. And he's going to be one of the old guys, but my God, I like his tape. He could absolutely play the nickel for the things that Christian Parker wants on the Cowboys defense in terms of play the run, play the pass, blow up the RPO game. He could do all of those things, and that's the sort of player that I'm kind of hunting right now. So I'm having myself a time. Parker said his Downs really like that, huh? I think so. Yeah, I think Caleb Downs is I don't think it's impossible he makes it to 12. I don't think it's impossible. And if he makes it to 12, I do think it's impossible that the Cowboys don't pick him. So I think that he'll be a Cowboy if he makes it to 12. And that's what we're working our way through. What do the secondary guys in this draft look like? Who are the guys that could be Dallas Cowboys? All of those things. What's up, Brother Jeff? We need Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I think he's an option at 20. Big old safety out of Toledo. Tested well today. It's funny because guys test incredible and run super fast. So then when a guy has a good day at the combine, you're like, oh, yeah, that's a good day. I think in a lot of people's mind, it's like, man, he's not very fast. He ran a 4.53, but other guys are running 4.3. So it's like, he's not that fast. That's pretty fast for a safety. That's pretty fast for a safety. Rowdy wants to know, why is signing Aubrey priority over signing Pickens? Because it's easy. Cowboys love to do easy stuff. The Aubrey deal is going to get done. I know this because Todd France got so mad when people were reporting stuff, because I don't think Brandon Aubrey was prepared to be viewed as like the bad guy or the greedy guy, like people do to Dak, Parsons, and whoever else. It's like, oh, no, leave me alone. No, stop it. That's not what's happening here. So he'll be the highest paid kicker in football, but not by a huge amount, and that contract will get done because that is easy. George Pickens is not as easy. So that's why they're going to knock that one out, and George Pickens will be way tougher. Non-exclusive franchise tag is interesting because you're, in theory, inviting other teams to bid on your player. And in theory, you're telling the agent, like, I can show you your market. Look at that. Nobody bid on you, because nobody's giving up 2 first-round picks and paying the guy. You'd have to figure out a different compensation, which you are allowed to do. And then you'd have to tell all the other teams in football, hey, I promise we don't require 2 first-round picks. If you really wanted to pay him a ton, then maybe we would be more reasonable. You have to take so many steps for other teams to even be willing to engage in it. So I think Pickens is either playing under the tag, or I think and that'll involve a messy offseason, of course, or I think he's getting traded. I don't think they're going to get a deal done with George Pickens. That's just what I think. All right, secondary at the NFL Combine. Let me just take a look at things here. So here's how Jeff feels about, let's do the safeties in this draft. Caleb Downs is one of my top 5 players. He didn't have to run a 40 for me. I'm not worried about it. He's everything that the Cowboys would want in what Christian Parker would want for his nickel, because I told you the things that he would want. You got to be able to defend the pass. You got to be able to defend the run. You got to be able to play down in the box, and he wants you to be able to blow up when people are running the run-pass option plays where they do like this, and then they look at this guy, and then if this guy comes forward, they go, woo, woo, woo. He wants your nickel guy to be able to blow that up. So the guy that they're looking for is no longer your 5'10", 180-pound guy, although I don't think that makes it impossible that, like, Avion Terrell could do the job. But I think their prototype in their perfect world is more Caleb Downs, is more 205-pound missile than it is 5'10", 180-pound missile. So Caleb Downs is my top safety, and if he's available at 12, I think that's a snap pick. I think that's no problem. Two names that I think would be okay at 20, and that's Adam Thieneman, the Oregon safety, who's killing it at the combine, but he's also really good on tape. Like he's done, when he was at Purdue, he was more of a free safety, and you can see him just screaming around, covering ground and going to make plays on the ball. And then at Oregon this year, depending on game and situation, he's either one of the two deep safeties, or a lot of times he's kind of an underneath safety in front of those two safeties where he can kind of be a robber and do all sorts of things. So like he's shown a lot of versatility. I'll say the only thing that makes me think if he were a Cowboy, I think if Downs were a Cowboy, he would be your nickel slot corner. I think if Thieneman's a Cowboy, I think he might play one of your two actual safety spots, I think, because the one thing where I think there's a difference between like he and Caleb Downs is Caleb Downs, if you're throwing the ball underneath or in front of him, like he will smoke you. Like, he's not the hardest hitter, but he will smoke you. And Thieneman is just stopping power is the one thing that I think that he's kind of missing. Sure, you can find plays where he hit somebody pretty good, but he's more of a breakdown, grab on, drag down tackler, and that's okay. That's fine. I just wonder if that means that they would view them as potentially different spots on this team. Williams in the super chat, he said, could Lewis out of Pitt make it to the 4th? I doubt it. The two linebackers that I think over the last, from Senior Bowl to now, have checked a bunch of boxes for NFL teams that you might have dreamed of taking on day 3. They've just done too well in the process. Like Kyle Lewis at Pitt is 6 foot tall. What was his weight? 220. And at the Senior Bowl, he's blanketing running backs. So he'll be a really good cover guy. He'll be a will linebacker for somebody, though. If you're going to be a base 3-4, I don't know that Kyle Lewis would be on your team unless you're thinking about him as a nickel. And is he that good of a cover guy? I don't know. And then Jacob Rodriguez is the other linebacker that I think has checked a ton of boxes. And if you thought he was going to be a day 3 guy, I think that's over. Jeff, watching Thieneman's tape, can he cover in man? Yeah, he can. I don't think that's his best thing. I think the best thing about him is ability in zone coverage, covering ground. He has become a sure tackler, not a thumper, but a sure tackler. And Marky, I don't mean to fight you, but that's just what I think. His reactionary ability in zone coverage, and it works for him in man coverage. It's so good. Like his feet are just so good, going from pedal to sideways to the other direction. It's so quick and it's so good. And that plays in man coverage, but I think his best is seeing things in zone, reacting, and getting there in a hurry. That's what I think he's best at. He could step in the nickel and do it. He could do it. I don't think that he would be bad at it. Same as Downs. Like, I don't think Caleb Downs, I don't think the best thing about him is man coverage either. I think it's read, react, respond, and go raise hell. But that's probably kind of what they're looking for. I'm probably talking myself into that Thieneman could also be your nickel if you wanted him to be. He could do it. Yeah, he could do it. And you could pick him at 20. The other safety out here at the combine, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo. I think that would be okay at 20. I don't love him as a prospect as much as it seems like some do, where like he could be a top 15 pick. I see what everybody likes, right? Like he's a big old dude. Like you're gonna dream of that he's Kyle Hamilton or something like that, where I've got this 6'3" guy and he can step down here in the slot and he can cover whoever. Like I think he could cover tight ends, no problem. I think he can cover a deep half, no problem. I think he can play down in the box. Like I think he's a good prospect. I guess I just don't see him quite as highly as some people do. If they took him at 20, I would understand that. I don't think I'd be super fired up about it, but I'd go, oh, okay, that's a need. And I see the intrigue of the different combination of tools that he's got. Can we get a live bar video? No, that's not allowed. We can't do that. And this also won't be as good a stream as last night because I haven't been drinking. I'm real squared away right now. Other safeties. Now, here's what I want for the Cowboys. I need the Cowboys to find their way to a day 2 or 3 pick because I think this is a really good safety group with like the next 5 guys. Did Downs do his 40 yet? Downs is not doing a 40. He is not working out. He's not doing any of this stuff. Downs is saying, go watch my tape. I'll see you at the draft. So the other safeties, I gave you my top 3. There's probably 5 more that I really like. And then there's multiple guys after that other people really like. So maybe you could go as deep as like 10 or 12 safeties that could maybe be NFL starters in this draft. I like AJ Halsey more than most. He's the LSU safety. He's like 6 foot. He's 220 pounds. So like he looked pretty big. He looked pretty hefty for a safety these days. And he does have the thump that comes with that, but he's surprisingly good as far as like covering ground in deep half. Instincts. He makes some great plays when you get down into the red zone and down on the goal line. He's a really good read, react, and make turnovers player for a guy that when you look at his body type, you're like, yeah, but he probably can't cover. He can cover better than most people I think are giving him credit for. I like AJ Halsey. Bud Clark is my guy. How do you do the horn? John, do you know how to do the horn frog sign? What does TCU do? I don't want to do it wrong because there's hand signs you can make that I don't know what they mean, and I don't want to get in trouble. But I think they do something with some curled up fingers and stuff. I think they do some curled up fingers. Bud Clark's my guy. There are a bunch of dudes in this draft that are super old. And by super old, I mean 16 years younger than me. There's a bunch of like 25-year-old guys or 24-year-old guys that played 6 years of college football. And Bud Clark at TCU is one of those. But you watch him play and it's like, oh, he's a safety that does all of the safety things well, but he moves like a corner. I like him all. He's a good player. And I don't know what NFL teams are going to do. Curled up hook'em horns. Do they do the curl? Is it the outside fingers that curl up? I don't even know. How much influence will CP have in the draft? I think Christian Parker's going to have a bunch of influence in the draft. And after hearing his interview, was it this morning on The Fan, and Brian brought us asking him a bunch of really good questions to try to get people an understanding of what they want to do schematically. I love this dude. I love Christian Parker. And I don't think that he's going to be a guy where they're going to fall flat on their face and he's going to get fired, because I don't really want coaches having a ton of say in a draft room. Just tell me what you want from players. My scouts, this is what we do for a living. We will find them. We will draft them, and we'll get you the things that you say that you want. But I don't know. Christian Parker just seems like an incredibly bright dude that can probably evaluate. And so I'm okay. I'm okay with him having influence, and I think that he'll have plenty. They do that every time they hire a new coordinator. Every time they hire a new coordinator, he gets a bunch of help. He gets a bunch more free agents than they usually do. He gets more draft capital than they usually do, and their defense was awful last year, so they're going to do that anyway. And yeah, I think he'll have a lot to say because he has a really good feel and idea for what he wants to do. And I don't think it perfectly fits a lot of guys that are on the Cowboys right now. Listening to him talking about what they're going to do on the defensive line, I think it sounds good strategically, and it sounds like good scheming to make it hard on offenses. But it also sounds less attacking for the guys who are down on the line of scrimmage and more reactive. Where, yeah, we want to get some push, but everybody's got a gap and a half, which means we want to reset the line of scrimmage. But once we've reset the line of scrimmage, we have to be prepared to go from this to this. We have to find the ball, and then we're rushing once we've determined that it's time to rush. Like, they don't want to do the thing where you get gashed because people are flying upfield. And so I think Quinnen will have liked what they were doing before more. And I think Osa is maybe the toughest fit out of your defensive tackles. I know what Kenny's doing. Kenny Clark is going to be the guy who plays the nose. And then Kenny Clark is going to be the one that I just don't feel like this is a perfect fit for him. Run defense has never been his best thing. And when you're asking him to be a reactive player and get hands on offensive linemen and extend and play in that way, hands, feet, eyes, I just don't think it's a perfect fit for him. And so it'll be It'll be interesting to see if they're going to add more bodies, even though they already have three $20 million defensive tackles. Real question: Why is CP is CP and BT is BT and our head coach is BS? Fair. Jeff, how do we feel about R. Mason Thomas at 12? Oh, that ain't for me. I like R. Mason Thomas, but that ain't for me at 12. Does CJ Allen not participating give you any concerns? Not concerns. That's why my podcast, my little tiny podcast on my little tiny personal YouTube page, youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh, it's called Trust the Tape. CJ Allen's tape's good. I think he's a top 40 pick, give or take. May go in the first round. And I think most people probably haven't been mocked in the first round. He's a rock solid player. And yeah, like my brain does the same thing that I think a lot of people's brains do. I do think the reason that CJ Allen's not working out is because there were multiple linebackers who are considerably taller and heavier than him that were going to outrun him and outjump him. And I don't think that would actually hurt his stock, but I get it if his camp is like, we're good. We have our tape. And we'll work out at the Georgia Pro Day if we want to do all that. But I don't need to be going out there, and my last name's Allen, so I go early, and then I go run a 4.63, and then Sonny Styles, who's however many pounds heavier, is going to go run a 4.46, and then I'm going to do my vertical jump, and I'm going to jump 33 inches, and he's going to jump 43 inches. Let me just not do all that and make people watch the tape. Would you take Jacob Rodriguez at 20? I don't think so, but I think the fact that that's a question speaks a lot to how he has aced everything since the season ended and his tape. I don't think so. I think we could talk about Jacob Rodriguez versus CJ Allen, and I think that that's a good debate. I think it's a good conversation. I think Jacob Rodriguez should be talked about as a top 3 to 5 linebacker in this class. And I also think somebody in the chat said Nakobe Dean ? Chris did. I think Nakobe Dean will likely be here. And so they may not be messing with linebacker too high. We'll see. What would it take to move to pick 4 from MoCal? Well, that would take your 1, your 2. Oh, wait, you don't have your 2. That would take both of your, would that take both your 1s? It would take both your 1s, and then you would ask for something back from them on the back end. Who are we going up to 4 for? If we're going up to 4, boy, there's something blasphemous about going up to 4 for an off-ball linebacker and a 3-4, or for a safety / nickel. I think I want to go down in this draft because I think what I'm going to end up getting is a couple of starters. I don't think you're going to get stars. And so why not get me another one or 2 more of them? I think that's what I'd like to do. What do you think of the safety Taff, and where would you draft him? Hook him. I haven't watched Taff's tape yet. I'm about 90-something players in right now. I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 safeties, and he is not one of them yet. So I can't tell you yet. Williams in the super chat, he said this draft's so dependent on free agency. Sign starters, more options available. Yeah, they need to sign a starting corner. They need to sign a starting linebacker. They need to sign a starting, I guess I should say, inside linebacker, outside linebacker, and a starting safety. They need to sign all those guys before we draft. If they don't do that, we are not drafting clean. And if we're not drafting clean, I ain't happy. You can't make yourself, like if you got down to 20, and as my friend Botch likes to say, teams suck at drafting. Plenty of them do. Unfortunately, our team's kind of one of them the last 3 years. But people suck at drafting. And at 12, if your 5th best player is there, but you have to pick your 11th or 12th best player there just because we have giant holes on the roster, that's not good process. If you get to 20 and your 8th best player is available, but you have to pick your 18th best player, you know, even in your own mind, you're not making a good pick. We got to be clean. We got to sign, folks. It's got to be done. Do you think the Jones boys fool everyone and take offensive line again? I don't think they will. I wouldn't hate if they did, as long as they were aggressive and signed real free agents. Like, let's just say at 12, Francis Maui-Noah, the Miami right tackle, is available. You've kind of been trying to replace your right tackle for a couple of years. Problem is, you've had so many holes on your roster, you couldn't afford to save the money you would save by cutting your right tackle because you got no one else to play it. But you have so many other places that need a player even worse than that you just got to keep trucking with it. So I think in a perfect world, yeah, you could do enough in free agency where you could do whatever with that pick. And it's not a bad idea. Do I think they'll do that? Probably not. Probably not. That's what Vach says. I say Vach is talk, and teams do know what they were doing. Teams screw up the draft all the time. Teams reach all the time. And a lot of times the general public knows it, which is what's funny. Like, if you go to somebody will put this together before the draft, the consensus board, you just take the draft expert men and combine all their rankings and you get a consensus ranking. And then you have a team who picks somebody that's like 25 spots below it. Go look at the history of that. See how it goes. It doesn't go well. But you get draft rooms that aren't clean. You get a coach who loves a guy. You get a position coach or a coordinator who worked out a guy and loves a guy. You get a coach who knew his dad, Bobby Carpenter. Teams will screw up. Teams will give you an opportunity. Teams screwed up when they let you get CeeDee Lamb at 17. There weren't 16 better players in that draft. There weren't a chance. If I remember my rankings, there weren't 6 better players in that draft, according to this genius, this one guy. Just watch his stuff. Caden Proctor at 20. That might be high for me. It's a weird offensive tackle class, too. And I think that elevates Francis Maui-Noah, honestly. Because I think all of the other guys, like Caden Proctor's just a weird one because he's an outlier, kind of, in terms of how big he is. And it plays for him in a lot of ways. And then in the ways that you would expect for a guy who's a giant, it also plays against him a little bit. I think that's probably about the right range for him. I've got him as a second-round guy, but I don't have 20 first-round grades, but I don't think he'll be one of my top second-round guys. So I don't think Proctor would be for me at 20, but not crazy. Get Thieneman and drop back and get Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson is the, let me not screw up his school, San Diego State, right? What is he for me? Chris Johnson is corner number 5 for me. Mansour Delane, Avion Terrell, Jerma McCoy, Colton Hood, Chris Johnson. And if you watch the stuff at the Combine, I mean, you just, for the most part, the Combine is just confirming stuff that you already knew, right? It's just checking boxes. Like, people, you can't watch Dillon Thieneman's workout and go, boy, you really got to move him up. No, you don't. Your notes said it everywhere. He's fast. He's a good athlete. Like, it was everywhere in your notes. Sonny Styles, same thing. And so it's not like we didn't know this, but when you're just running through the drills and you're having them open and turn and then turn back and then flip it around and go that way and get your head around and go get the ball, I think Johnson might have looked the best. And that's in his notes. It's who he is. Like, he's an incredibly smooth player, really sticky coverage guy. Pons is probably up there, but I mean, this is also built for D'Angelo Pons, a guy who's 5'8.5", or was he 5'8 and 5'8", something like that. Being low to the ground, you're going to move really well. And he did. He looked really good. Terrell, cornerback 2, he moves effortlessly. He does. And Jerma McCoy could be cornerback 1. Check in with me after the Tennessee Pro Day. If you don't ever work out, it was December. It's been 14 months and change since you tore your ACL. So 400 and I don't even know how many days. And you don't want to go out there and run and jump, and even if you don't want to run a 40, that's fine. What about if you just did the on-field work and show people that you're moving around well? And I get it. Everybody's trying to maximize their draft position and do what's best for them. But now, a lot of pressure. Don't roll an ankle before you would do your pro day at Tennessee. Because if you don't work out for anybody before the draft at all, and then you're December to April, 16 months off an ACL, a guy that if you would have worked out and looked good could be a top 10 pick, I don't know how you take him in the first round. Rowdy, let me know if I'm saying that wrong. Roudy. Rowdy, thanks for your work out there. You're welcome. I loved it. I love the draft. Did you guys know that? I love this crap. It's so fun. Trying to predict the future and just watching football. It's so fun. Getting them wrong on different guys and getting made fun of for a decade. That's fun. Shout out to Sky Moore and Laquan Treadwell. Everyone donate $1. Damn, Jeff working out here so we ain't jonesing. Yeah, that's right. Everybody, we're still at I have to get home and see if I've gotten a new invoice or receipt or whatever. We may be down to 23.6 on the pool. And once we get that sucker paid off, I can make some other stupid purchase and beg for money. So looking forward to that. I'm surprised Micah doesn't want to race Style. Well, he's not healthy. Micah would beat Sonny Styles in a foot race. Sonny Styles is fast. Micah freaky. Let's say Pickens gets traded for a second-round pick. Would you draft another wide receiver? If so, which pick would you use to target the wide receiver? Pickens gets traded for a second-round pick. Now I've got 12, 20, and let's call it 30-something. Wide receivers. Slide on over to the rankings. Tate, Lemon, and Tyson are probably gone. Well, it depends what pick we're talking about, right? I wouldn't want to use 12. I don't love the top of the receiver class. I like it. I don't love it. I like the depth of the receiver class. I'm higher on Zachariah Branch than anybody, and it'll be great for him. He's Georgia, and he's a littler guy. He's like 5'10". And I believe this number off the top of my head is right. Something like 53% of his targets were screens. That's insanity. That's absurd. But when they let him do something else, they had bad quarterback play. When they let him do something else, he looks capable of more. So like right now, what he is an incredibly explosive, catch it behind the line and give him hell kind of guy. But there's more. The one thing they almost never let him do was go deep, which is crazy because he runs like a 4.3. But again, bad quarterback play. So out here, when you get him on the field, this will have actual value for him. Watching them throw bombs 50 yards down the field and seeing how easy or not easy it is for him to track a ball over his shoulder, bring it in this direction, that sort of thing will be important. To me, he would be a top 40, top 50 pick, second-round guy. Some people have him lower than that, and that's okay. If you wanted, just looking at names and trying to think, what would you want on this team? I love the Indiana receiver, Cooper. If you could have him somewhere in the second round. A lot of people like Surratt, the other Indiana receiver. I like Cooper better. I think he's got everything. He's hell after the catch, but he's also a good route runner. He's got really good hands. I love my good after the catch guys. Casey Concepcion at Texas A&M. Sounds like he's going to be a first rounder. But if you didn't have Pickens, with either the 20th pick or a second round pick, I think it'd be really fun to either have Cooper out of Indiana, Concepcion out of A&M, Branch out of Georgia, or Denzel Boston out of Washington. But also, let's see how many of these guys actually end up going in the first round. We may have 6 first-round wide receivers. All right, let me pop back over to the chat here. Micah was 4.4, 4.39. I'm just making my prediction. I think if they lined up in a race, Micah would beat him by a little bit. Not today, though. Wear the Party at Jeff shirts. I do need some Party at Jeff shirts. And now that AI exists, maybe I could just have one designed. I want Caleb Downs, trade up to 6. I don't think I want to do that. Like, I'm not crazily opposed, but I don't think I want to do that. We'll see. Is that Jesse coming in? Oh, that means we can go do so. You suited and booted. Oh, what's the goddamn fit, man? But suited in a comfortable looking suited, like it's a pajama suit. Oh, this is a nice. That's a nice. Can I feel it? Yeah,
at that right there. You know what I'm saying?
It looks like it's
sporty.
It's but like you wouldn't go to a black tie dinner in it, but you look nice at a not black tie dinner. But you can also tell you're comfy.
Dak got the same one.
Dak, where's that?
Yeah, I'm not saying
you went to the same guy. I'll say you didn't pay that.
I'm not saying
you didn't pay that.
Dak is in the slums, but I'm also
you didn't say you didn't pay for that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, all right.
Got the same one. That's
all right. That's it. Jesse's back, so it means we can go have our 6th meal at the same place in the last 3 days because we have to eat in order to continue to fuel this content. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We'll be back here. I'll be back here again tomorrow night.
Y'all see me in this outfit tomorrow?
Yeah.
Don't say a damn thing.
Yeah, don't snitch. Don't snitch on Jesse. Yeah, and because we're at the Combine, we got the special going on. There's a QR code on the screen for you there if you want to get a discount. On being a diehard, get you access to Fran Duffy's draft rankings and all that. You still get your free T-shirt. It's all good, baby. All right. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Check us out on the DLLS Cowboys show. We're going to have a special Saturday edition at our normal time, right? Noon out here, 11 o'clock in DFW. So we'll be on at our normal time, except on a Saturday, which isn't normal because we love you. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy. Or else not.